Hello guys, and welcome to another edition of Rage Against the Dice. It's the second part of our Walking Dead All Out War solo campaign. If you watch part one, you'll know that where we left off was poor Carl's hiding underneath a car with absolutely zero wounds. What I'm going to do, as a difference to what I was initially going to do, is at the start of each turn, I'm going to roll a shield die. If I get a shield, Carl's going to successfully wake up. If not, then he just stays under the car until Rick gets to him. The reason for this is just to add a little bit more dynamic to what's going on, but also just to try something new. So the Rick that I've got is the Rick Grimes Atlanta Camp Leader. And as you can see, he's got the blood ties, so if he's within the same group, if Carl's within the same group as Rick and within his kill zone, Rick gains an extra red die to his melee dice. And as we see on Carl, we didn't cover it before because it wasn't necessary, but if Carl is in the kill zone of a friendly model from the same faction, that model will not panic. I mean, it's not relevant because Rick's nerves as high as it can get. Now, we're starting the threatometer. I know what you're thinking, it should be starting on medium, Kevin, but I would never ever be able to do it. So I've set it on 4. Because things have calmed down a bit now. As you can see, the cards are exactly as they were. It's as if I just started filming straight away. So, at the start of turn 1, Carl's not going to roll on turn 1. I will apologise in advance, as I said in part 1. We've got the dryer and stuff going on because we're currently in lockdown. I need to get a token for Rick, actually. I'll steal Carl's for now. Bless him, little Carl. And Rick's got his full health. His weapons, he comes with Rick's pistol, which is armor piercing and has the handgun rule, and it adds a blue die to his ranged shot. And then he also has the hatchet, which can be dual wielded, adds one white to his melee roll, and the amputee, which means if someone was to get bitten, he can chop a limb off. But of course, Carl wasn't bitten; he was only bitten on his lucky hat, which is something we didn't actually take into account last time. Which is each time Carl is reduced to 0 wounds, he rolls the shield die, and on a shield, he's not actually removed. He comes back on 1 life, which is cool. So that's where I got this idea from for rolling a shield for him for each turn, in case you were curious. But let's get straight into it, because you guys don't want to hear me waffle, ever really. Rick comes on there. As you can see, there's Ronnie Renton / Seth Rogen. Walker. Now Rick's a bit smarter, and by that I mean he's not, because he's going to do the exact same thing, which is he's just going to sneak up. Let me pop that back on the car, and he is going to go into base contact with him. I don't know why I dragged that out. We all knew what was happening. So, the threat level doesn't increase or anything like that at this stage. We don't need to measure for kill zones because we've got the only one here, so it's straight onto the cards, which is boom! Pandemonium. Threat level instantly goes up by 1 before we do anything else. So, that puts it up to 5, which is still low threat. Roll 1 blue die and move that many eligible walkers towards the nearest survivor, then roll 1 white die and that many walkers enters play. Ah, that's not ideal, is it now, people? So, this is the first part. Low threat, 1 blue, and it's 3. And then, how many new walkers are going to enter play? 1. Cool, so we'll enter the 1 first. He's obviously not going to move. What I'm going to do is I'm going to roll a blue die. On a 1, it's that edge. On a 2, it's the top edge, and on a 3, it's that edge. There's no point bringing anything on down here. And it's a 2, which is the top. So 1 walker comes on the top there. We'll zoom it round, and we'll bring on this guy. Meh. He cannot be one of the 3 that move, because obviously that's done beforehand. Now it says move that many eligible walkers towards the nearest survivor. So what I'm going to do, and it's not, in my opinion, cheating at all, is I'm going to move some of these further away ones. Now, the reason for that is just to get them into the battle quicker, because otherwise they're just chilling off doing nothing. Rick still needs to get people off on the same side, which is back over that way. So yeah, it doesn't say move the nearest survivors. It just says move them towards the nearest survivor. So I'm moving them up to get them into the fight. I think that's fair. I'm sure you guys will agree. So, as we can see over here, zoom, 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 zoom. So the threatometer, yep, the fabled threatometer goes up to 6, which is still a low threat. Now, Rick's melee is 1 white as standard, and he gets a 2nd white for his hatchet. That's the word I couldn't think of. So that's 2, but no headshot. Walker, single lonely walker. So he moves 1 inch away and is prone. Boop. And I just destroyed a lamppost. Maybe what I'll do is a mix of hard cam and the thing. Nah, it's probably harder to do with solo play, but we'll get there. So, will the walker stand up or not? And of course he does. So yeah, they're a bit more than an inch away. But yes, that's the thing so far. So we'll survey the board before we go straight on to turn 2. And the threatometer goes up to 7. Now we are going to check for Carl this time. And Carl is still staying unconscious. Right. So for Rick's first action, what he's going to try and do is he's going to search the porta potty. Get himself, hopefully, some supplies. Yeah. So, Rick is 2 white for his melee, as we know. And a porta potty is 1 red, as we know. So, he is successful. So, he smashes it, which combines with a search. So, he gets 1 piece of loot. And we flip an equipment card. Now, knowing my luck, it's going to be a lurker, because it's always a lurker if you guys have watched our channel for any length of time. It's not. It's a hunting knife. Dual wield, sharp, adds a red to a melee. So, he's going to stick it in his backpack. Because he can carry 3 things in his backpack. And yeah, you never know when that's going to come in handy. As I said, they're going to carry on anything that they find and such like that. So it's not a terrible idea. And then for his second action, he's going to go 1 inch. And he's going to probably help if you were on camera there, Richolas. He's going to go to there. So he should be out of threat levels because unlike Carl, he's playing it safe. However, we will still need to check this one here. And as you can see, he's not over. It looked like it from the angle, but he's definitely not. So we go straight to the event card. Dun 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 dun. Roamers. It is medium. It's a low threat, which means 1 eligible walker towards the nearest survivor. Now, on this occasion, I am going to move this guy over here so he does come into base contact with Rick. And I've done that because that seems fair. And if I hadn't, it would have felt a bit cheaty. So, it's now the start of combat and the threat level goes up to 8. So, we're currently at a low threat. So, Rick really needs to start trying to lower it next turn. Rick gets 2 white dice. He got a 3, so the walker cannot win on a 1. But it also is not dead. There's a little cheeky cough for you guys. Enjoy. So he's prone. And then let's see if he stands back up. Which of course he does. Because of course he does. Now, as you can see from probably the warlord symbol on the bottom of the base, this isn't a Walking Dead walker. This is a zombie from the now defunct Project Z game, which I'm sure Mantic are quite happy about. Well, maybe not, because, you know, they're not shady guys. But it is always nice when your competition kind of fails, I guess. So we'll be back in a second, because I'm British, so I need tea. And then we'll come back with turn 3, where luckily Rick isn't dead yet, so he's doing pretty well compared to Carl. So we are back for turn 3. So what we're going to do first is put the threat level up. So the threat level goes up to medium. And now we're going to roll to see if Carl stands up. Which he still does not. He still does not. Darn you, Carl. Darn you. So, Rick is there. Now, Rick has a leader ability. Whoa. Sorry about that, guys. So, Rick has a leader ability, which is stay calm. Rick may perform this in place of a hold your nerve action. So he rolls blue die, and that lowers the threat by that many points. So this is his first action, is to lower the threat by 2. So the threat goes from 9 back to 7, and then he's just going to hoik himself across the board to get out of a couple of kill zones. So massively uneventful there for Rick. But he does, well, yeah, he's not in the best position, is he? So I don't think I need to measure for kill zones at this stage. I'm sure we're fairly confident that oh, well, I did it anyway. But yeah, Rick is safe for now. But there's an event occurring. And this was what got Carl, as you may recall. Alarm. All threat levels. Choose a car, if possible. It must be one that has no survivor within 6 inches. The car alarm goes off, creating mayhem instantly. The car will cause mayhem again at the start of every event phase until a survivor moves into contact with it and uses it to do a search action and shut it off. Once the alarm has been shut off, the car is discarded. So we'll put that out there so we know. Now we've got 2 cars. It would only be fair to roll a die and to work it out. So yes, so we'll use a white dice. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So if it is a blank, I get to choose. If it's a 2, which there's less of, in fairness, it's Carl's car. And if it's a 1, which there's 3 of, it's the car nearest Rick, but hopefully away from 6 inches. No. So it has to be Carl's car. There you go. Ignore my little trying to cheat. Carl's car goes off, which causes mayhem. Of course, you guys know mayhem puts the threat level up. Which puts it to 8. And when does it go off? So it goes off at the start of every event phase thereafter. So what it's going to do is it's going to pull every walker within 10 towards it, which is these. This has just become a lot more dangerous. Yeah, he'd hit the fence. I'm going to assume he'd shimmy around. He's in. Poor Carl. Poor Carl. He moves 6 inches. I'll put him about there. And everyone else is just... Oh, no. These guys are in. These 2 are in, so... We've kind of got a conga line of walkers going on here. This is precarious. It didn't put the threat level up, though, other than the fact that there was mayhem afoot. And I have a lot of walkers to defeat to try and to do this. So, luckily, there's no one in base to base for combat. So we go straight on to turn 4. First thing we're going to do is we're going to see if poor old Carl stands up. And he still does not. So yes, the threat level also goes back up to a medium. So what is Rick going to do? First thing he's going to do is move up against this building, which is down there. And then he's going to try and reduce the threat level again. And he reduces it once more by 2, putting it back to 7. So he's managing the threat at this stage. That was both of his actions, however. Now, kill zones. This one's going to be an interesting one. Nope. So it's fine. He's still fine. Fine. Boom. Too quiet. So first thing that happens is the threat goes up by 1, which still keeps it in an all quiet or low. The walkers suddenly stop, nothing seems to happen, and add 1 to the threat level. So, in the space of 1 card, it just undid everything Rick had done. It happens, it happens, it happens. So what we're going to do now is we're going to spin across. There's young Rickolas. And we're going straight into turn 5, I guess. So, the threat level goes to 10. And we see if Carl stands up. And he finally does. So Carl spins across. And as we know, he's on, literally, he is on 1 wound. Now, because Carl is awake, we default to our secondary mission, which is to get 3 objectives. Which, of course, as you know, was what we were meant to do to start with poor old Carl. So I am going to activate Carl first. And Carl is just going to make a sneak action. And then another sneak action. Which hopefully will get him in, an interesting position. So, because this is a building and there's no windows at the back, I would love to play it that I believe he could just reach through the back of the wall, but I'm not going to. So he's going to move for 4, and then he's going to smash through the window to search for the item. So Rick rolls 2 white, and he gets a 2. It's a blue, and it's a 1. So Rick is successful. He successfully gets the bag of guns. My absolute favourite objective. Look at that. Bag of guns. I keep getting asked about the bag of guns because I posted a picture on Instagram of me painting it. And not a lot of people knew about it. You can get it with Mantic points. I think it's 15 Mantic points. And you get the plastic shield as well, which is your initiative marker. It's worth it. It really is. And the supply is football pads. So it's body armor. Reduce damage taken from melee attacks by 1. So I will just pop that on. Slips it on. I'm not going to model it on, although I could chop up a Rumble Slam model for it. I'm not going to. Yeah, so that's him. So now what we're going to do is we're going to spin around. Check the kill zones. Everybody's out of kill zones. So then we're going to go straight to the event card phase. Come on, cards. Help Papa out. I don't know why I said that. Sorry, guys. So, Pandemonium. First thing we do is the threat level goes up by 1. We are on threat level 11, which is a meaty ham. So let's see what meaty ham says. Roll 2 blue dice and move that many eligible walkers towards the nearest survivor, and then a blue die worth of walkers enters play. So, first thing we're going to do, 3 walkers are going to move, and then 2 walkers are going to come into play. Sort these out. So, I'm going to move 1 towards Carl, and I'm going to move 2 towards Rick. Because I get to pick. And I want to. And he's the closest. So, yes. And then and 2 come into play. And I'm going to just bring 1 on either side. Be in here. And up here, because they're nearest to the actual survivors. So, it's now the melee phase, and the threat level goes up to 12. Oh my god, this is going up really, really quickly. I'm going to do Rick's combat first, because that one scares me a little less. So it's 2 white dice against 3 red dice. And Rick got 1 headshot, so one of them's definitely going down. And the walkers. So, I'm going to kill this guy, because I hate him. And this one's going to get pushed back and knocked down. And now, we're going to go over to poor Carl. Now, Carl's got 2 red dice, because he's still got a screwdriver. He got a 1. And the walker he's facing also got a 1, so it's a draw, but he's a survivor. So, as the rules are written, so shall they be done. And he's pushed back a juicy inch. Right, I'm going to take another short break. I'm going to do some lunges, stretch out the old hammies. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. The threat's getting quite high and I need to go and change my underwear. Bye. So, guys, last time we left our intrepid heroes, they were in a quite precarious position. Carl's got one wound, he's just hanging in there, and Rick is just slapping walkers left and right. So, the threat, however, is now on a mighty 13. We are teetering very close to a high threat level. Yeah. I don't want to play anymore. F you, Mantic. F you in your beautiful game that's now going to get me saddened. So I don't need to roll to see if Carl wakes up. I do, however, need to roll for that walker that I forgot about. And of course he gets up because they always get up. Stomach hanging out, but he can still stand up, bless him. So right. Rick has choices. I can move Carl, I can move Rick. They're the two characters I'm playing as. So, now I can do a sneak. Or I can do a run. Obviously a run will create noise. I'm okay with that. So 2, and then across to here. Bosh, which creates noise, which will pull this guy towards me. Ah, help. And then Carl is going to sneak. And he's going to sneak. So he's just staying just out of reach so that Rick gets the extra for the melee. Because, yeah, now what I should have done realistically is I should have lowered the threat level first. But that's my bad and you guys all know it. So you can let me know in the comments how stupid that was. So, I don't really need to measure threat levels. The only one who's even close is him and he's already in base. So we're going to draw a card. Come on. There's a storm coming. So, first of all, threat goes up by 1, which puts us in a high threat situation. Carl could potentially pickety panic, son. The tension reaches fever pitch. Add +1 to the threat level and immediately draw 2 more event cards, applying the result 1 at a time. So, threat level goes up. First event card. The Hunger. Okay, threat goes up by 1. Damn you, Mantic. High threat. As medium threat, in addition, all prone walkers. So that's not relevant. So, roll a blue die and move that many walkers towards the nearest survivor. So, come on. 2. Fair enough. I'm going to say the first one would be towards Carl because he's the one not engaged. I don't mean he's going to marry somebody. And the second one, sadly, has to be him because he can't get round to Rick. It's only fair. I mean, I could split it the other way and do it like that, but I've already chose to do it this way, so that's on me. You know, I did it that way. And then the herd, as with low threat level and additional prone walker stand up. So, choose a walker and move it towards the nearest survivor. All eligible walkers within 8 inches of the chosen walker then also converge on that chosen walker. Oh, crudge. Right, so the nearest walker who isn't in combat would be that one guy there. And he's in. And then all walkers within 8 inches, which is those 3, converge on him in a herd-like manner. He can only get to there. But that's fine. They're just out. They're in combat. He's just out. So, once again, we find our intrepid adventurers in a precarious position. It's the combat phase. And we go up to a threat level 17. Oh, crap. So, we'll do Rick first. Rick gets 2 white die. Come on, Ricky baby. Rick got a 3. The walkers rolling 3 red die. get a 2. So one's dead, one's pushed back. I'm going to kill the herd guy. No, I'm going to kill him. And because I can't be pushed back, sorry, he can't be pushed back, I'll get pushed back instead. It's perfectly fine. Now, the combat I was dreading. So, Carl first. Oh, Rick would get an extra die, wouldn't he? He would get an extra red one. It wasn't a headshot, so it doesn't matter. So, Carl. He got 2. The walkers. They got 6. And it's a bite. Carl cannot escape at this time. He is, in fact, a walker. Sorry, Carl. I'm going to leave you on as a model because, serves you right, really, doesn't it? You brought this on yourself, Carly boy. You brought it on yourself. So, yes, Carl's a walker. Rick's still alive, but grief-stricken. I'm sure you'll agree. So we're going to move on to whatever turn it is now, turn 37. And the threat hits its apex. Threat level 18. If I can't bring it down this time, which I obviously you guys know I theoretically can, I'm up shit creek. So let's do this. First we're going to lower the threat level. It's a 1. We've been forgetting about the mayhem of the car. It doesn't matter. I assume Carl turned the alarm off. So the threat goes down to 17. It doesn't matter. It's going to be the last turn. Because Rick can't really do a lot else. He's just going to run a little bit. Yeah. So before Carl turned the alarm off, it was beep, beep. Carl switched off. It's fine. It doesn't matter at this stage. All is lost. All is lost. So, there's no kill zones. Let's hope this event doesn't put the threat up by 1. Feeding Frenzy. Every walker gains a red in melee this turn. Oh, so as with low threat. Alright, so let's start at the bottom. Roll black. Alright, so because no one's in combat, it doesn't matter. So you'd roll a shield die normally for every survivor engaged in melee, and they'd lose 1 health. If there's no threat ones, I can't do words anymore. I'm so distraught. I'm brokenhearted. So I lose 1 wound. No, I put the threat level up by 1, sorry, because I'm not in melee. However, as with low threat, in addition, you roll a blue die and move that many eligible walkers towards the nearest survivor, which is this, and it's 3. Of course, it's 3. So for variety, I'm going to go with this one, and Ronnie's going to get in there. So we're going to be rolling a fair old few dice here. The threat can't go up any higher. I'm going to do Rick's first, because why not? Rick's no longer in base-to-base with Carl. And Rick gets 2. That's not good. So, as basic, these walkers will get 6. Plus the extras, so 9. So I'm going to roll 5, then 4. You are kidding me. You guys saw that. There wasn't a hot take. There's no edit or cut there. So it's a draw. It's a draw. So they all go back an inch. However, it is the end of the turn. The threat level has reached as high as it can go. And all walkers submerge on poor Rick, who cannot fight them all off. So this has been just a 2-part series. Because unfortunately, guys, I have killed off Rick Grimes, and I've done it far earlier than AMC did. And I've committed to it. I've committed to the bit. You know, there's no get out of jail freeze here. Rick has been eaten. So yeah, that was my 2-part little solo adventure. Now, that's not to be saying that I'm not going to do any more solo adventures. I think what I'm actually going to do next is I'm going to follow the book. maybe both of them. I've got to paint up Brian before I can do Prelude to Woodbury, if I'm honest. But there's the other solo campaign as well. I might run through each of those separately. But yes, this was an unmitigated disaster, and it was probably an unmitigated disaster because I put too many walkers on the board, and because I made some really funny, stupid decisions for the sake of comedy effect and for the funsies of it. Oh, funsies, what is wrong with me? What have I become? But yes, guys, hopefully you like that. Give it a like, give it a subscribe, share it with your friends and family. What I would like to see, actually, is people who are on the Facebook groups for The Walking Dead, or if you're on Twitter, you're on Instagram, play some solo games, get your models out, roll some dice, take some photos or some videos and put them up on your YouTube channels, on your social media, get them in the groups, the Facebook groups. If you're feeling so inclined, give us a little, at Rage Against the Dice if you're on Instagram, or Rage Against Dice on Instagram or Twitter, or put a little hashtag Rage Against the Dice, something like that, feed our ego. But no, I want to see people playing. It's a game that's got solo rules. You can download the solo rules for free, and I'm going to put them in the link below. I mentioned it in video 1, I'm going to mention it very quickly here. Mandic have got a load of their rulebooks free up on their site. Go and check them out. I'm going to, as I said, put the link for the 2 Walking Dead free ones down below. I'm going to leave it at that, guys, because my voice is getting a bit hoarse. I'm not used to doing videos anymore. But anyway, guys, hopefully you like the content. We're definitely going to keep doing more content. I'm going to leave things as they are, but pray the dice gods, hope to smile upon you and stay safe. Take care.